All right, I got a quick question for you. Are you curious about generating seller leads from postcards? Just generated 2 seller leads from a postcard we mailed out this week. So 2 leads that came in. And I'll show you a sample of that here in just a second. So you can take a look and maybe incorporate it into what you're doing. So hi, welcome to the RAMSagents production coaching call. The goal of the call is to help you sell more homes by maximizing your repeat and referral closings by implementing the referral agent mastery system into your practice. My name is Mike Cerrone. I'm a co-founder of RAMSagents, and my co-host is Angela Newman, a master trainer of RAMSagents. Hello, Angela. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys?
Fantastic, fantastic. Thanks for joining us today. So I just teased everybody with this idea of a postcard that we've mailed out that's generated 2 seller leads this week. And so I wanted to share that with you real quick. And also give you another little tidbit, which will be fun. So hang in there for just a couple more minutes. So let me share what I did. We sent out a postcard, and I'm going to show it to you in just a sec. What this postcard does is it makes sellers raise their hands if they're interested in information. And then it gives them the option to scan. And if they scan, we get notified immediately when they scan. And then if they fill in information to get what we're offering, we get notified again. I can't show you those notifications because I've discovered that YouTube will ban this video if I do that. So I will show you the postcard though. I've modified it so you can see that. Let me just show that to you real quick. All right, so here is the postcard. And it's a very simple postcard. This is the front of the card. This is just a regular size postcard, a little 4x6. It says, what's the value of an address? And then there's a picture up in the upper right corner of the property. And it says, hey, to receive an instant free automated online valuation of this property, scan the QR code. Super simple. I've been testing different samples. This was my least favorite sample. That's why you test. I did not think that this was going to be the strongest return, but it's generated 2 seller leads for us again this week. 2 people who have scanned this thing after they read it. I'll show you the back of the card. This is a little, I have to do it here, but same thing. I give the exact same message on the back of the card. Hey, Robert, what's the value of this address to receive an instant free automated online valuation of this property? Scan the QR code. Kim and Mike, and PS, not now. Keep this card and scan it when you're ready. And then our picture and our company and our contact information. And then there's also a QR code on the back. So they can scan the QR code on the front or the back. Either way, they're going to go over to a landing page that offers them the opportunity to enter their address to get a free market evaluation, a free estimate of the value of their home. So if they enter their address, it'll go to a second screen which says, hey, give us your contact information. Whether they do or don't, we get notified by that service as well. So we get multiple notifications that they're interested in. We can see how far along they run along the track. But just by scanning this first one on the postcard, we get notified immediately. The reason I want to point this out, this is kind of interesting here, the way in and out. But anyway, the reason it works so well is when you're doing direct response marketing, you want to give people one option, all right, one simple call to action. We often can confuse things and complicate things. And if you give people more than one option, they are going to elect to do nothing. A confused mind always says no. So you want to keep it super simple and just get them to one task. So the one task here is, hey, scan the QR code if you want to get an instant free automated online valuation of your property. And this is a picture of their property. It goes out, by the way, that picture comes from Google. And so it's pretty cool that the technology allows us to do that today. And so it gets their interest when this is coming across in their mailbox and they're looking at it for half a second. probably recognize the picture first. They read that headline. If that interests them, they read the subline. If that interests, they're going to scan that card. All right. And then again, we get final thing there is we give them the option at the very end to say, hey, not ready to do this now. No problem. Keep this card and do it later. All right. So I just want to share that that worked. And you could send that out to people you know and people you don't know. That card will work if you send it out to your PCSOI, your past clients, friends, and family. That card will also work if you send it out to people you don't know. Any kind of list that you have where you think that there are people that own real estate and you know their address. So anything from geographic farming to for sell by owners to expireds to anybody that would be curious about getting the valuation of their property. And by the way, that's the number one way to pick up a seller lead is to offer them the value of their property, even though today that's all over the place with Zillow and Zestimates and everything else. It still works. All right, so that's that. Any questions on the card?
Did
So, I was just going to ask about your follow-up on that. How do you follow up?
Yeah, so because of the system I have their phone number. Now, if you're sending it to a list where you don't have a phone number yet, they have to fill out the form before you could get the phone number, and that may change the way you follow up. You could do a skip trace at that point to try to locate them. There's different services out there. Free People Search, I think, is one out there online you could use as an example. And it's free. It doesn't cost a thing, and you can plug in their name and their address, and it can help you track down a phone number, and you can call them back that way. If they've entered the information in your form, then now you have a phone number, and you can call them back. And so if you do have a phone number, and by the way, if they fill out the form, I believe you also have email, so you could email them as well. So you can call, you could text, you could email, because they start the conversation. They've reached out to you, in my belief, and check your own local rules, but I believe you can reach back out to them. So you'd reach back out to them and simply say, hey, I noticed that you scanned one of our postcards and you were curious about getting the value of your property. I just want to make sure you received that. Did you get that? That starts a conversation. They either received it or they didn't receive it. And either way, you can start down the line of saying, hey, great. What do you think about what the value that you received, if they've received it? And if they didn't receive it, oh, okay. Do you still want that? How can I help you get that? Okay. And you can either help them continue to fill out the form and get the information, because remember, that's what they asked about. Let's make sure we deliver what they asked about. They asked about this valuation. So let's see if we can't get that to them. And then after we've established that, then we can go into, great. Hey, I'm just curious, what would you like to, what was your reason for asking for this information? Were you needing this for taxes? Because we're in this property tax season right now. Maybe they were doing that for that reason. Are you doing this for refinance? Are you trying to get an idea of how much your home is worth? Or are you thinking about selling your property? What's the purpose? Is there a way I can help you somehow and get you to the right person? Right? Because if it's taxes, we can help them, send them to the county to figure out how to object to their tax valuation, and maybe help them get some comps so that they can protest. Number one. Number two, if it's a refinance, we can get them to a quality mortgage professional to help them get a quote for refinance so they can get a competitive bid. And obviously, if they're thinking about selling, fantastic. What's your timing? What are you trying to do there? Would it be helpful if we got you a super accurate number that by taking a look at the property in person? I can help you narrow down that range and show you what's going on in the market, how long it would take to sell, how much you'd net and walk out of closing with if you were to sell. Would that be helpful information? So hopefully that's a bunch of scripting that you can use and adapt. It's a good question, Blake. All right, anybody else have any other questions about this postcard? All right. So again, that's I call it a CMA postcard, a valuation postcard. The only thing you don't want to call it is an appraisal postcard because we're not appraisers. So just terminology wise, careful about that. All right, one other thing I was going to make a quick announcement on is Kim and I are working on a special project, as y'all know, and we had a little bit of success yesterday. I made some dials. We're making some phone prospecting calls. We don't make a lot. We just make a few. We have a small list. So I think I made 8 or maybe 8, maybe 10, something like that, something under 10 calls. And I didn't get a hold of anybody, left some voicemails. Kim got on the phone and she made 6 dials. 6 dials. She talked to 3 people, 2 seller leads that are going to be selling. 1 was interviewing agents right now and said, yeah, you guys can talk to us too. So gotta love that. Gotta love that. It's a pretty awesome list. And I'm going to leave it at that. I call it my mystery list.
I had a question about that, Mike.
Say again, Tristan?
I have a question. I saw in the report that you put for yours in and then you put for Kim's out. I didn't know what that meant.
So I'll explain that later, Tristan. I'll explain that on a different call with you. Yeah. But that's just how we group the people on this list. Yeah. But I'm happy to explain that at a future time. I'm keeping it a mystery. I'm keeping it a mystery for our recording here today of what we're working on. All right. So, but I just want people to know that, first of all, if you're working this group with me, it's pretty powerful. And we're getting results, which is pretty cool. We're narrowing in and getting better and better each time we take action on it. And 2, just in general, if you take action, you'll get something back eventually. So whatever you're going after, take some action. Nothing's going to happen if you sit around and don't do anything, right? And so anyway, phone calls is the fastest way to get to a quality lead. It may not be the most comfortable way. I do not enjoy the phone calls personally, but they work. And so that's why we do them. And anyway, I just wanted to put that out there and let you guys know that there's some success coming along on that. All right, let's switch gears now. Let's go back into what we're here for, PCSOI and repeat and referral. Right now, we're in the February, and we're coming up on Valentine's Day. Is anybody doing a Valentine's Day event? If so, how's it going? Give us an update. Who would like to share?
Blake, are you doing your event?
Say again?
Oh, I was asking Blake if he was doing his event.
I am. I was waiting for you to tell us about yours, Angela, but yeah, I am. And I hate that I don't have my jar with me, but I may go out. It's in the car. I'll go out in a minute and get it. But anyway, I do have the Sweethearts conversation hearts. They were Sweethearts brand, and I put them all in a jar. I took them to my open house this past weekend and had people guessing at the open house. What I have not yet done, and I've got to get done today, I mean, time's running out, is post this on social media so that I can actually show it to people and get some engagement on that. And anyway, so I was intending to get that knocked out prior to the open house, never did, but I had it at the open house. It's still going to happen. I've got time. That's the beauty of it. I have time. I can still do that. That's a one-off thing that I can still do.
You do. So,
So I
same.
went to Dollar General, by the way, and that's where I got all my stuff. Dollar General.
Oh, so they had the conversation hearts even there?
They did. Yeah. I was surprised. They had it all, and they had a perfect little jar that's really nice that I was able to use. And they had ribbon. So I wrapped the jar in a ribbon. So it's perfect.
Good, good. So I'm gonna do the same. So but mine aren't conversation hearts. I'm gonna do kisses. And I actually had my bag over here because normally I'm over here when we meet, but my computer wasn't working today. No, I have to put mine together. I haven't put it together yet. But Oh, and for Easter, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but I found this like huge golden egg. So that'll be coming up. But I am going to do kisses. And yeah, I went to Dollar Tree and found a jar. Yes, my kisses are somewhere else, but yeah. And another thing that I found is that on Amazon, you can buy gift cards that will work for several different restaurants. And so I plan to do that, just say a restaurant gift card, and then that way, depending on where they are or what they like, there might be a couple of options. And then
That's a
just
great
send it
idea.
to Amazon since I'm so far away from a lot of people that I know. But
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Fantastic. This is great work, people. I love it. So you're getting out there in front of your PCSOI for the holidays. Valentine's Day is Saturday. We're sitting here on Tuesday, so you're several days ahead of it, about 4 days ahead of it. And sounds like you're going to be leveraging social media. You're playing a giveaway with the counting, which is a lot of fun. It's a game. It's in something anybody can participate in. Look forward to seeing your videos. If you guys do some videos that you put out on social media to present this, maybe we'll share that next week if you had it. But this is pretty cool. Congratulations. Good job taking action. Nothing happens if you don't take action. So, and then Blake, we were chatting before we started the call. You're getting a lot of people from your PCSOI reaching out to you and asking for help. I mean, we're sitting here at the beginning of February, and I think things are happening early this year, according to people I'm hearing feedback that their markets are kind of picking up. Our area has been unseasonably warm all of a sudden for the last 10 days. Beautiful here in Colorado. And for us, that means like 50s and 60s, really nice and no snow and everything. And so that may have something to do with it. I don't know what exactly it is, but it does seem that people are picking up early. So Blake, you're reaching out to your PCSOI, and I think you mentioned you just picked up a buyer. Do you mind sharing that story?
Sure, sure. So, yes, I just picked up a buyer where we have a showing tomorrow on a property that they're interested in. It is the daughter and son-in-law of one of my college roommates who lives in the area here. And she and her husband, the daughter and her husband, uh, are they're married a couple of years now, and they had moved out of town for a little while, moved back to town, and they're in an apartment, and now they're ready to start looking for a house. And so that came about. They called me. I'd spoken to them briefly after the wedding, when they weren't really sure where they were going to be, and there were no children. Now they have a child. So they were, not really ready at the time, and that's fine. So, but she texted me. Um, his daughter texted me over the weekend and said, "Hey, we're back in town. We got this house we just saw," and gave me the address, and they want to look at it. So I said, "That's great. We'll set that up. I'll have some paperwork for you to sign. We can handle that electronically before, and then I will plan to meet you there." And that's what we're doing. We're having that showing tomorrow.
What a great story, Blake. Thanks for sharing. That's a story as old as time. The only thing that was new was the electronic signature. Everything else,
Yeah.
you could have told me that story 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago, 100 years ago. A young family wanting to find a house.
Yeah.
That's cool. I got a question for you. The daughter and the husband, are they on your PCSOI list, or is it your friend, your college roommate that's on the PCSOI, or do you have both of them on the list?
No, great question. No, only my roommate and his wife. And now our families are good friends, so I certainly knew his daughter well, and she knows me. I'm Mr. Blake to her, so I've known her since she was born. So yeah, it she was aware of me, but yeah, they're not on my regular contact list at all.
Right? So
Like I
this is
had
a
to
referral through
recheck.
a family member.
Yeah, yeah, referral through a family member, which is not the first. I'm trying to think of who else I helped. Another uh, a daughter of a friend, someone who's on my list. I did not know her. Well, I guess I actually did because I was at her wedding. Now that I think about it, but
Sure.
she and I really didn't know each other well or anything, but helped her and her husband buy a house last year. So yes, the PCSOI, the RAM system works. It's why I'm here, because here I'm getting these referrals from even through my sphere of influence, even folks that I wouldn't have necessarily had a lot of contact with.
That's awesome, Blake, and it's a testimony to you and the confidence people have in you to refer their friends and in this case family member. They have to really believe you're going to take care of them because they don't want that to go south. Um, do you in your marketing do you mention that you'll take referrals?
I don't think I make a big deal about it, but I probably should.
Maybe just a little blip somewhere. We love
Yeah.
referrals, the old we love referral kind of idea. You're just planting a seed. Yeah, we can help you and or your family members and or your friends.
Yeah, I have had, I remember, just thinking about this last year at a lunch with a friend of mine. He was telling me, he said, Blake, I really uh, would love to, use you and do business with you, but we're just not, ever going to sell our house or whatever. I said, no, that's fine, Brent, my friend. I said, Brent, what I'm hoping is that you will remember me when you hear somebody else talking about it, or you have a family member, a friend, or coworker, anybody that you're associated with, somebody else start talking about they're needing a house or wanting to move, then I want you to remember me then. And I know he will. And he said, oh, absolutely. But I don't know that he would have recognized that that was just as valuable, perhaps more valuable than him coming to me to sell his house.
Yes, that's exactly right. That's why we have to plant the seed. We have to create the vision. It's what the top agents do. In some fashion, they do that, either through their writing, through their speech, um, just as you did with your friend. I think it's really insightful that you were chatting with him and he said, look, I'm not moving. You can stop marketing to me, man. I'm not moving. And I love how you accept that and say, hey, no problem. I don't expect you to move. I want you to stay in your house for the next 20 years. But how you can help me is, and boom, you mentioned that he could refer his friends, family, and coworkers to you. That is perfect. And my question is, or thought is, let's make sure we're incorporating that into our marketing somehow. I believe in RAMS, you'll see that the exact statement in the marketing. I just want to make sure that you're using that for your marketing, like your event that's coming up. Um, if you mention anything about it, you could just say, hey, if you're thinking about moving, we'd love to help you. And by the way, if you're not moving, no problem. We'd love to help any of your friends, family, coworkers. That's it. So like a one sentence or two sentence thing, and boom, you're done. But you planted that seed. Yeah. Cool. Great story.
You
Go
know,
ahead,
I was
Blake.
just I was just thinking just kind of another twist. It's a little bit different angle here, but the other twist on someone misunderstanding their value or opportunity that I might bring to them was demonstrated at the open house that I had over the weekend. And it happens regularly at open houses. We all have run into this where somebody's looking at the house and they're talking to me, and then they ask me, do you have any other houses? And they're wanting to know if what they're asking is, do I have another listing that they can look at? And I don't know that I've perfected a good response to that. I explained to them, if there's a sign in the yard, I can show you the house. That's kind of what I'm telling them. Is we all cooperate with each other as far as the realtors, and we'll work. We'll if somebody else is in the yard, they're going to let me go show that house, so it's fine. I don't know that I said it like that, but maybe we need to work on some way to explain that as well, that we have the ability to represent buyers to all of the houses that are out there, because people don't realize that. They think they only are going to look at houses that have your sign in the yard.
I think Angela's got an answer for you.
That's true. It's amazing how we just get used to, oh, we know that how everything works. And so when I have a buyer meeting, I always go over that and make sure they understand that. But in general, if somebody asks me or if I feel like I need to explain it, I just say, yes, I have a key to any property that is listed on the MLS. And so as a realtor, I have an electronic key that I can get into any of those properties. You know, most of them we will have to set up an appointment ahead of time a little bit, but you know, I have all the instructions. And so just let me know. And then I usually part of that script is also, and if you drive by and you see a for sale by owner, or if you drive by a new construction community and you see a house that you like in any of those types of situations, I can also help you with those. So be sure to just let me know, grab the address and the phone number off the for sale by owner sign. If it's a new construction community, if you go in and you talk to somebody, let them know that you're working with me, or write down that address in that community, the builder, any of that information, and I can work directly with the builder as well. Because they don't always understand all of that for sure.
Yeah, that's a great point. We have to educate.
Yeah, we have to articulate that regularly because that is the norm, I think, before somebody is aware of the way we operate.
And Blake, what you want to do is get that into, Angela did a great job, by the way. And that's for her buyer presentation, and you have a lot of time with them to go through it. You want to get like a one sentence response, right? So you want to get something along the lines of, and if for any reason you are not interested in this home, please let me know. I can help you access any property on the market, any home with a for sale sign in front of it. I can get you into it. As a one sentence thing, use a little visuals. I love Angela's word visual of the key. I have a key to any property in the market. I can get you inside.
Yeah, I appreciated that too. I wrote that down, Angela. I wrote, I have an electronic key to any property in the MLS, or just a key. I don't even have to say
Don't say
electronic.
electronic, say key.
Yeah,
Because it's
yeah,
a
just
visual in their head. It's a visual in
that's
their head. They
right.
know what a key is to open a door and to get into a house. I would just stick with key. I have a key to get into any house out there. They don't need to know the particulars. It's
You're
just,
right. That's
I
true.
get you in the front door. I can get you inside. That's what they want. They want to get inside and look around. Yeah, I think that's great. I'll give you one other quick idea there, Blake, because you did this open house and you had people that were there that didn't have interest. That's very common in an open house. Agents do open houses to pick up buyer leads and to satisfy their seller. And then every rare moon, the buyer might actually buy that house. Statistically, at least in the old days, and I assume it's the same, the probability of selling that house that you're holding open to a buyer that walks through, it's about 2%. 2%. So 1 in 50 buyers have to come through the house to statistically find a buyer who's going to make an offer on that property. But a lot of the buyers walking through that house may want to buy something, right? And you can pick those up. By the way, they also may be sellers. Keep that in mind. They may be in the neighborhood thinking about selling their home and they're trying to figure out the value of their property. So be sure to say, hey, are you from the area? Do you live in the neighborhood? It's a great question in the open house. Do you live in the area? Do you live in this neighborhood? If they do, then they're quite possibly thinking about selling. Now you're actually talking to a seller buyer. One final idea there is a lot of the top agents do this that do open houses and also advertisements on their properties is they will have a flyer for the property on the front, and on the back are alternative listings. So if you have a lot of listings, when you flip it over, it's your other listings they have for sale. They'll put that in the flyer box. That was an old idea. Worked very, very well. Same thing at this open house. You can have a flyer for that house you're holding open. And either on the back or on another sheet of paper, you can have alternative properties. Basically say, hey, if you're not interested in this, check out these other properties. So you've got the main property on the front. That's your highlighted property. It's taken up the entire page. On the back would be little teeny pictures and little teeny blurbs about other properties you have available. Maybe 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever you can fit on there to show these people, hey, I got other ones in the neighborhood. And really good top agents that do open houses, the ones I've talked to, if that open house is slow and there's only one buyer standing in front of them and that buyer says, this house ain't the house for me, they'll say, and they want to buy, they'll be like, okay, no problem. Let's lock this up and drive down the street. I got 3 more to show you. Let's go. And they'll just go, which shocks me because I'm thinking, wait a minute, you're representing the seller and you're running away. But that's what they do because they know opportunity when it's standing in front of you, you got to act quick. So they are prepared to do that. They have a list of properties ready to go to show somebody another property in the area.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I made notes on that.
Top agent idea. Top agent idea. All right, cool. Good deal. Well, let's see. We're here in the production call. Does anybody have any burning questions or issues or challenges you'd like to get out in front of the mastermind for us to all work on and address?
I just had a question for Blake or an idea. I was curious, Blake, if when these people are coming to your open house, are you getting their info and adding them to your database?
I did get info. I didn't get a lot of info from, I have a sign up sheet. Sometimes they fill out all the stuff I want. In this case, I had my contest. So I got a little more, I definitely got a good phone number because I told them I needed their phone number to be able to call them if they won. So, yeah, but I have not added them like to a regular database. Good question.
I think you just pulled up another lesson or insight there, Blake. It sounds like it's a lot easier to get their contact information if you have a little raffle going or a little contest or something they could enter to win something, right? So maybe that's something to do at the next open house.
Yeah, true. And I've done contests before. It's interesting because I've always I carry around a $20 Panera Bread gift card at these things, and I always offer that if you sign up. But there was something different about the candy, conversation hearts. The fact that they had to guess a number. I think it engaged them more because they all picked it up and looked at it and studied it and tried to make a reasonable guess. I don't know. I'm just thinking out loud here, but maybe that's key is certainly to have a contest, but maybe you even make it more engaging.
Very good. I think you should test it. Yeah, I like it. Keep trying it. And the prize doesn't have to be huge, right? People just love games.
Yeah.
It could be a $5 coffee card. It's just whatever. Don't think you have to do some giant gift. You could bring that jar around to the next 20 open houses for the next year. Because they're all new people. They haven't seen it yet.
And Blake, when you do that, do you ever say, okay, well, give me your feedback and then you'll be entered in this drawing? Or is it just sign in and you'll be entered in the drawing? I'm just curious.
In the past, well, I've done it several ways, Angela, and I know you've surely done way more open houses than I have, but I've had sheets I pulled from our brokerage. I pulled, you know, some sheets that I adapted through Canva so that some of them are full sheets that ask, what did you think of the house? And it's even got checklist of the bedrooms, kitchen, bathrooms, whatever. Um, and so I've done that one. Nobody filled that out. And then I did another one that asked just, what's your any comments? Those I've not really gotten much comment about other than I've got a realtor. That's about it. And then I've just had the straight sheet with here's my name and phone number and email. And I don't know that one's necessarily doing better than the other, but I think the one I did this weekend with the game was more engaging because people didn't, I think that, well, I know they gave me good phone numbers. That I'm sure of.
Right.
I don't know, if I got good numbers on the others or not, because Tristan brought up a good question. I'm not doing a good job of adding them to my database. Now, I guess it kind of has depended on my response. Like the one this weekend that I know is in the market, I'm definitely engaging with that person. And I've already followed up with her just to make sure she knows that I'd be glad to help with. And she's one that I had to explain. I can open up any door. Um, and
Mhm.
she's there looking for her kids who are moving, or her son who's moving back to her son and his wife and grandchild that are moving back to the area from California. So,
Mhm. So, because my thought was, okay, so if that worked well to have the giveaway at the open house, for brokers opens, I usually say, if you'll fill out this feedback form, you'll be entered into a drawing. I wonder if
oh,
it's
no.
active asking them to do something like, guess how many things are in this jar, and I'll enter you into a drawing. If you'll give me some feedback, I'll enter you into a drawing. I don't know. So it's definitely something we can test, but
Now, for a broker's open, I would absolutely ask for that feedback because
mhm,
they're in the business and they should help you, hopefully. Right.
mhm. Right. So yeah, so maybe making it just super easy for a potential buyer or client by asking them to do a simple contest like the candy game. Huh.
I
Yeah.
like that idea of the feedback from the buyers walking through, not just your brokers, but the buyers. Just have a little 3x5 card ready to go and say, hey, if you fill out this little 3x5 feedback card, you'll be automatically entered into a raffle for X,
Yeah.
whatever it is.
I was
And
looking for I
that feedback
carry
is
clipboards. I mean, I've got the whole works. I had clipboards so they could walk through the house, a bunch of pens where they could walk through the house and make checks. They didn't do it, but
Yeah.
that
So
was
I think making
that
it
was
easy.
what's that?
I think making it super easy, like I have three questions on mine. I think one is, what do you think about the price? Um, what do you love the most? And if you could change anything, what would it be? Or something like that.
Okay.
Just real simple, but
make a checklist. You just check the box or circle A,
yeah,
B,
that would make
C,
it
be
even more
easy,
simple.
and then have a little other if they want to make a comment. Just make it real easy for them. The reason that that's beneficial is your seller, your homeowner wants to know what the feedback is. So
That's
Mhm.
that's
right.
why I really like the idea of the feedback. And then that card, they can enter themselves in the drawing. You could have a little jar, or whatever that they drop it into to enter into the contest. It's a good way to get some feedback. One other thing, if you're having a sign up sheet, are you having everybody sign in before they can look at the house? Blake? It looked like Angela said
I
yes.
have
Blake?
I have not done it that way. I have when I've greeted them at the door, um, I have led them to wherever because I generally don't have it's usually in the kitchen where I've got that set up. Um, if I think one place I did actually take a table to try and do that. I took a table, put it near the front door. Um, but usually it's in the kitchen on the kitchen counter where I have all my registration and everything. And maybe there's a better way. But I greet them at the door and I kind of lead them back toward the kitchen and say, would you please sign in? Now, I have not told them they may not tour the house before signing in. Um, I know of people that have done that. I've heard that done from other agents, and I think it's a great idea.
The reason to do it and the reason you can give them is that the seller requires knowing who is going through their house for security purposes. I'm sure you could appreciate that if people were walking through your house. Could you please sign in real quickly? The
That's
seller
good.
requires that they know who's going through their house for security purposes. Could you please sign in before you tour the home? And if they say no, you say, thank you so much for coming here. Please exit. I'm not
That's
kidding.
fair. Yeah, yeah, no, that's
If
fair.
they're not
No reason
willing
to
to
show them
give
the
you
house.
their contact information to go into a stranger's house, who are they? Right? Right? Anyway, it's what a lot of the top agents that do open houses do. Right? And that's the reason that they give for why they need the sign in is security for the seller. It's true. What if something disappears? We want to know who was in the house, right? It's security. Yeah. Anyway, just another idea. All right, let's do this. Let's final call. If you have any issue you want to bring up to the group, bring it up now or forever hold your peace.
I was just going to comment on that I get 99 point, I don't know, I kind of like what you said, I pretty much get 100% people sign up because the way that I am confident and I have multiple clipboards or I have like usually two clipboards, a backup clipboard, but um, thank you so much for coming in. Please sign in on this sheet. And it has the question too, are you working with an agent? If so, what's their name and what's their name? And then I say, okay, take a look around. I'm here to answer any questions. At the end, I'm going to ask you for your feedback. So just go ahead and start thinking about that as you look around. And then I try to have a conversation with each one of them. It doesn't always happen when you have more than one person, they can get out quickly, but then you can ask them, okay, what did you like? What didn't you like? What's your situation? And then you actually can open that conversation through the feedback part. And then just, I think as soon as they walk in, letting them know what you expect. I've never had anyone just refuse to sign because of the way that I hand it to them. But I think that if somebody, and I have not done a ton of open houses, I've done my fair share, but because I just haven't, over the years. But if somebody refused to sign, I would just say, well, yes, that's our policy is we have everybody that comes in sign this. And then I don't know what I'd do if they refused again. Be like, okay, gonna have to get out my
Am I going to have to call the cops? Come on, guys.
right.
Yeah. That's legit, actually. Yeah, if they're just going to refuse, I guess that's
Mhm.
legit.
All right, cool. Good job. Thank you for all the input. That was good masterminding on it. And let's do this. We're going to wrap up our production call. Thank you so much for being here for that. We're going to switch gears and go into our huddle. So the number one thing you did yesterday to move your business forward, the number one thing you're going to do today to move your business forward. Who would like to start? I think we're all waiting for Tristan. Tristan usually jumps
We
in
were.
number
Yeah.
one.
I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead,
Okay.
Tristan, please.
Okay. Number one thing yesterday, I put a basement on the market for lease, and I sent a counter offer for a client that's looking to buy a penthouse. Number one thing for today is I have some showings with some buyers and looking to get that offer accepted and get that property sold conditional. We still have inspection and financing, but that should go pretty smooth. Normally the condos are straightforward. But yeah, that's it for me.
Congratulations, Tristan. You're in the action right now. You're working with a lot of people, making offers, accepting offers, making counter offers. Good job.
Thanks.
That's fantastic. All right, those are dollar productive activities. Love to hear that. All right, who's next?
I'll jump in. Yesterday, I'm gonna say my number one thing was actually getting some mail out the door, some direct mail postcards, just like you showed earlier in the segment here, getting those out the door. And then the number one thing for today, I am having lunch with another friend of mine, and I think lunches, coffees, meetings of any sort are the most valuable thing I do, probably. I mean, if you really think about it. Yeah.
Absolutely, Blake. By the way, good job getting into action and getting your postcard campaign launched. Love to hear that. That's a project we've all been working on, so good job. Number two, the luncheons, you are doing a lot of those. I'm assuming you're doing these lunches with people that are very close to you, that you would consider close friends. These are not, strangers. If you were look at your PCSY, they're at the top of the pyramid. These are the strongest people that you think are the highest probability to do business with you or refer business to you. Am I correct?
I think that's a safe way to describe it. I'm just thinking, I have a lunch today. I have a lunch tomorrow, which is more of a training lunch, but I've also got some people there that I'm close with, and I have a lunch lined up on Thursday as well. So I'm stacked up this week. And you're right, all of these folks are either I've either already done business with or are potential for future business or referral.
And I think it's a really good idea to invest in those people. It's really, there's nothing better than face to face. Okay. But you got to be selective because you only have so much time, because a lunch takes an hour, 2 hours when you talked about travel. So we're talking about a big chunk of your day. But if you're having lunch with somebody who's doing business with you, about to do business with you, referring business to you, that's great. Absolutely. Build that relationship to get more and more business. And so from a business perspective, it's awesome. And if they're your friends, it's awesome too, right? It's a double win. So it's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a
I
great
would want to
strategy.
be, I'd want to be going to these, or at least today's lunch and Thursday's lunch. I'd want to go to them even if I was not a realtor.
Yeah, yeah, but now you can, and yeah, maybe you
Yeah.
can write it off. I don't know. They've been changing the tax laws, but
Oh, it'll
even
come
if
up.
it's not write offable anymore, it's still brilliant to get out there and meet those folks and get
Sure.
in front of them. Yeah. All right. Good job, Blake. Good job. All right. Who's next?
I'll go. Yesterday was prospecting calls and getting more mail out. And then yesterday, I think I was telling you guys about this during one of the calls, but we got a copy of somebody's home that we helped them sell, their childhood home. We got it put on a little ornament for them as a remembrance. And this arrived yesterday. So today I'm going to write a handwritten note and mail this and take it to the post office. And then probably more prospecting calls today. And yeah, that's my day.
Good job. And good job, Kim, yesterday, making 6 dials, talking to 3 people and finding 2 seller leads. Holy moly. That was awesome. Yeah. And I was fortunate enough to be in the room when Kim was making those calls, and she just crushed it. She's such a natural. All right, cool. Good job. So let's see who is next. Yevon will do a call today at 5 to 5 past clients. Yesterday submitted, oops, it just went away. Hold on, let me open up the chat again. Let's see. Yevon says, we'll do today, call 5 past clients. Okay, yesterday submitted an offer, good job. And we'll continue to negotiate the price. Awesome, Yevon, congratulations, good work. Yevon is always out there working with the folks. He's doing that high dollar productive activity, working with the people face to face. Whenever you can get with a client face to face, that's a good day. All right, good job, everybody. Let's see, did we get everyone? Angela, did you go? I'm sorry.
Yesterday I got my supplies for the Valentine giveaway. I'll continue to work on that today, as well as work on I'm hosting a vision board party on Friday, co-hosting it. So inviting people to that, and then also working on my mailing stuff. So
cool, good job, and good luck getting the mailing into place. I know you've been working on that project as well. Just remember, baby steps, little bites. You know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So just get a couple going, and I think it's going to go well for you. Good job getting out there and taking action. All right, let's see. So I think we've made it through everybody. So for myself, yesterday made some dials, and today gonna make some dials. Got to get out there, get in front of people. How are you going to find a new client today? That should always be on your mind. How am I going to find a new client today? All right. So in fact, I think Yevon mentioned he's going to make 5 calls to past clients today. I assume that's how he's going to find a client today. All right. Good job, everybody. Hope you have a fantastic and productive rest of your day. Take care.
bye.